Hello. Happy Friday, everybody. As you can see, I have a new Stampin' Up! Glass mat, and this will be available to anyone who signs up to be a demonstrator in January. How exciting is that? Hey, Dawn. It's a nice glass mat, and it comes with a accessory mat, and it's rubber, so you can hold your dies in here. It actually also, let me see if I have one available. Let's see. Oh, here's one right here. It also holds the little stamping spot, and if I can pick this up now, it stays and does not fall out, which is awesome. You can also use this for mixing colors, but you can't guarantee that it's going to stay white. And then it also comes with a cleaning cloth that I have not opened yet because of the glass. Hey, Dew. Hey, Crystal. All right. Chile, Iowa. It's chilly in PA, too. Hey, Paula. So this is the new mat that will be available to new demonstrators in January. All right, so today we are going to pick up where we left off last night, and I'm just looking to see what I did with my stamp set. I was working on something else, and I'm not sure where I put the box. Let's see. That's what happens when you are working on things and you just shove things around. Horrible, horrible. Huh. That's crazy. I was looking at new stuff. Oh, here it is. So we're going to continue on with Light the Sky. If you had seen our cards last night, I did it in gold and Night of Navy. And then I did it in gold and white embossing powder, and actually used the horse and sleigh to add some trees and mountains. Yes, it is cool, Dew, and it'll be available to us again in March. So if you want it, let me know. Hey, Karen. All right, so let's get started. Today's card's a little different than last night, and we are going to use Misty Moonlight, and our card base is going to be 7 by 5.5, and of course we're going to score it at 4.25. So I scored it from this side 4.25. Right, and here's our card base, and then of course we're going to layer it up. So we're going to layer it up with some more Misty Moonlight, and this is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, and we're going to put that actually right on the inside of the card. This way it's all finished. We don't have to worry about putting it on. We can concentrate on the rest. All right, so we're just going to lay this on the inside. This is our matte layer. And then for the front, we're going to also layer that up with some Misty Moonlight. And this is 2 3/8 by 5 1/8. And that's going to go right here on the front of the card. Like I said, we're going to add this And when I add this on, I am going to try to get it even with the layer that I put on the inside of the card, just so it's a little bit uniform. All right, so there is our card base. The stamp set is called Light the Sky, and this is in the I want to say the mini catalog. I don't have it available right here. Oh, here it is. Should be in the mini catalog. And I'm just going to check real quick. Light the Sky. Yes, it is in the mini catalog. This one is September to December. So it ends at the end of this month. So if this is a stamp set that you'd like to have, make sure you grab it before the end of the month. All right? All right, so here's our card base, and we're going to set that aside. And I actually do have 2 pieces of basic white, and one is 3 3/4 by 5. That's for the inside. And then for that outside panel, I have 2 1/4 by 5. Okay. And I actually also have a scalloped oval that I am going to use as a mask for the inside of the card. So I am just going to put a little tiny bit of seal, and I am going to add that right to the center of the card. All right, it's just for a mask right now. And I'm going to grab 2 blending brushes, okay, and my Misty Moonlight and my Flirty Flamingo stamp pad. And I'm going to start with Misty Moonlight, and we can use this great mat to make sure our blending is better. And what you would do is start off your paper and then come on to your paper. And what happens is you can see that there's some ink there. You can pull that ink off the glass mat to bring it onto your layer. That's the one good thing about glass mats. You can start it off and then move your paper and blend. We just want to add some Misty Moonlight to this front layer. All right. So we're just making, hey, Margaret. So we're just making a sky on our layer. Now I'm just going to pull that aside, pull out my Flirty Flamingo, and I am just going to add a few spots of Flirty Flamingo just to add some color to this sky. And you can make it as dark or as light as you want. All right, so we have nice coloring for our sky. We're going to pull in that inside layer, and I'm also going to pull in a scrap. I'm going to go back to my Misty Moonlight, and we're going to do this layer. See, I'm just pulling it right off that mat. All right. Pull that aside for a second, and we're just going to do this one a little bit so you can see what I did with the fireworks. So you can see how much is left on this mat that you can just pull right off and ink up your white layer. It's also great for when, and like I said, I did not pull out my cleaning cloth. So right now I'm just using a paper towel. I forgot what I was going to say. All right. So yes, it comes with a cleaning cloth and I just haven't pulled it out yet. All right. So now we have our front layer done. Here's our inside layer, and here is a scrap. I'm going to close up my Misty Moonlight, and now I am going to grab my Flirty Flamingo, and I'm just going to add some color to the inside layer. Just to mimic a little bit of a lit up sky, right? All right, so now we can pull up this piece. I'm going to grab my eraser, just get that glue off there. I want to be careful that I don't get my inky fingers on there. All right, so there is our inside piece. And then I'm just going to do this one here. I'm just going to put a few little spots. All right, just a couple spots. And I'm just going to use my heat gun for a minute. And I'm going to try to dry this up a little bit. Because you do know that if you use our stamp pad and then you emboss, the ink is going to adhere, the embossing powder is going to adhere to our ink. So I'm also going to grab our embossing buddy and I'm just going to pat some powder on here. Now we used gold last night. Tonight or today we are going to use silver. So we're going to grab some Versamark. Okay. And we're going to ink up. This is the large firework display. And I'm just going to stamp it on what I just blended. Okay. I'm going to grab some silver embossing powder and put it over our Now, if you have extra embossing powder on it, it's okay because it will, hey Liara, because it will make it look nice and shiny with stray sparks flying off our display. All right, so there it is embossed in silver. So it looks completely different than the gold. Then I grabbed the die that goes to that firework and I am going to die cut it. Now you do have to move it around to see how it matches up. All right. And line it up, run it through your cut and emboss machine, and it die cuts perfectly. All right. So I did it 3 times. I blended the background on basic white. Okay. And embossed the fireworks. The next thing I did before we start to assemble our card In the new mini catalog coming in January, there is this embossing folder and dies that's called Thoughtful Moments, and it's a hybrid embossing folder, and it has all different sentiments. And what you do is grab the die that goes to this embossing folder, okay, and you lay it in your embossing folder until you hear it click in place. All right, so that's what it looks like with the embossing folder, and it die cuts your words and embosses them. And I actually used some Misty Moonlight and die cut a background. Stop, love. So it looks like there are shadows. All right. That's Sheba. She just woke up. So you know what that means. All right. So let's pull our card base back in. And we're going to take our inside piece. I'm actually going to get some seal. And we're going to add some seal. Oh, stop. And we're going to add this to the inside of our card. And we're going to remember we have that matte layer in the center there. All right, so there is the inside of our card. Yeah, that's what it is. She wants to go out. She was just sleeping. And then I have, and she'll have to wait because I'm the only one who takes her out. So now we're going to take our other piece that we blended, and we're going to add some glue to this, and we're going to add this to the front of our card. And I wanted to make sure it's pretty even with the inside of our card. And then we are going to add these beautiful fireworks to the front. And I'm actually going to add some glue and add one here. And I'm just going to worry about adding glue to the center. We'll add one here. And then we'll take the third one. Let's add some dimensionals. And I'm actually going to add the dimensionals here, so I make sure that I do not get it on the wrong layer, right? And let's add this right about here. And then we have our celebrate. And I am going to add a small little dimensional. I'm looking to see where my pokey tool disappeared to. Here it is. And I'm going to add a small dimensional right behind the letter E. All right, baby, hold on. And then I'm going to add some glue. And we're going to put this right here in the center. I'm going to make sure it's on there straight. I'm just going to hold it down for a minute. I popped up this end because the fireworks are popped up. And then I just adhered it to this piece here. Yep, I'm the only one that'll take her to. Well, Bill gets out of breath, so he just can't. And then I think what I'll do is I'm going to grab these rhinestones are retired. So let's add a couple of these rhinestones over here. I'll add a couple here. And then we have another card that you can use for New Year's Eve, for birthdays, any kind of celebration that you have. Oh, because I used this hybrid embossing folder and matching die. And here's Celebrate here. So I laid my silver foil down, ran it through the cut and emboss machine, and got the silver. Okay. Then I grabbed the die itself and added a piece of Misty Moonlight behind the Celebrate and die cut it. So you can see it right here. I die cut it in Misty Moonlight, and that gave me the background. So the Celebrate is embossed. The background is a shadow layer, and then I cheated. If you can see right here by the E and inside the B and the A and over here by the E, I actually took my blend and I colored in those spaces so it looks like the Misty Moonlight that I have behind it. And that's all I did. So there we go. So it's just a quick fun fold so you can celebrate with the ones you love. So I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, Sheba, stop. She's got some plastic, of course. Hope you enjoyed today's card. I'll have a PDF or the measurements for it and everything on my blog. And I will talk to you soon. I hope you liked it. Enjoy the rest of your day and stay warm. I'm going to run this little girl out, and I'll talk to everybody soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.